今回のセッションはですね、海外の MVP のアビレク・ベルマさんからですね、動画で、登壇という形で動画を送っていただいております。タイトルですが、Advanced Microsoft 365、Mastery Elevate Your Productivity というタイトルで、こちらの方ですね、登壇をお願いしております。では、動画の方流させていただきます。よろしくお願いいたします。
Hello everyone, welcome to the 6th Global Power Platform Bootcamp 2025 for Japan. I'm Abhilekh Verma, your speaker, and I'll be speaking very specifically on the topic Advanced Microsoft 365 Mastery, which is about elevating your productivity. Now, when I talk about productivity, past 2024 year has been really productive for me. Just a quick, overview of what I do and what my experience is. So currently I'm running a technical education startup based out of Hyderabad, India. And I have been a personal branding coach certified from Singapore and one of the top 3% most active speakers on the Sessionized platform as well. I have had a great experience as a corporate trainer for companies like KPMG and over a decade of experience in terms of sales. Currently, I am a Microsoft MVP in AI and I contribute on AI as well as Power Platform. I have done a lot of trainings and hands-on on AI, IoT, Salesforce, and sales coaching, close to 380 plus in the past decade. I've been a scholarship winner for two countries. One is Singapore and South Korea. I was also one of the finest delegate for the South Korea Summit 2024. I have done a lot of public speaking for Microsoft India, Kuala Lumpur, Dubai recently, and luckily I've been associated with a lot of startup folks where I do mentorship, which does include Vadhwani Foundation, IBM for Startups, STPI, IIT Guwahati, Lab AI, which is a Sweden-based organization, Startup Bootcamp at Amsterdam, a Masters Union in India, Microsoft Founders Hub, Startup World Camp, Jagriti Enterprise, specifically for Purvanchal, Meta Accelerator. I have also been associated by running different communities like Azure Developer, ADP List, and Omdena. If you want to connect with me, you can scan my code and we can quickly get connected over LinkedIn. Okay, so let's just get started. Talking about very specifically why we are here, we are going to learn about the grid strategies, how to use very specifically tools like Power BI, Power Automate, and all. Before that, I want to just quickly go back to start with the basics because again, before coming to advanced version, we need to know the basics. So initially, we'll be talking about, let's say, how I started my career. I started in IoT. Think about, let's say I have a wearable device and I wanted to automate it. So I want to use Gen AI in the health insurance sector. It can predict and also say based upon, let's say, my footsteps, my heartbeat rate, as well as, let's say, very specifically based upon how I maintain each and every day of my nutrition and things like that. So it can really say in the future what are the likely chances of me getting, like a heart attack, or let's say, making the insurance claim much simpler, considering the fact all the data is available with the insurance companies and things like that, right? So yeah, I mean, it's a generic question. How many of you use wearable health device? I'm sure if you're in Japan, you've been very, optimistic about living for several years. So you've been already doing amazingly well with terms of health and things like that. Right. So yeah, let's just get started on that. But before that, I'll give you a little bit of brief and a little bit of background, a little bit more, so you understand what I'm talking about. So let's just say when we talk about IoT, what we are doing here is we are using this smartwatch. It's like a telehealth device which collects all your biometric and lifestyle data. Where does Gen AI come into the picture? So it will analyze all those data. It will predict risk, personalized plans, and it will automate your insurance claims, right? So we are just going to talk about very specifically how do we talk about personalized premiums, fraud detection for insurance companies, because you don't want to give claims to everyone. And then obviously, how do you make this claim automation process much more seamless and much more easier for everyone, right? There's a use case I really wanted to highlight. There's a company called Ping and Insurance in China where they have actually had a challenge of fraud and slow claims processing, and they actually had this IoT wearable device where they were able to track the health habits. They were also able to do this AI detected fraud, which is something amazing. And at the end, the impact was great. Like there was like 30% fewer fraud cases, 50% faster policy issuance, right? So this is like a use case I wanted to highlight. Now let's just quickly, think about the live demo before we talk about what are the takeaways and things like that. So I'm actually going to show you a Power BI dashboard. Before that, I wanted to show you quickly an Excel sheet about real-time data. So as you can see here, like this is specifically the timer of minutes and my heart rate. You can see increasing. So let's say if I'm walking, brisk walking and things like that, this is the number of calories being burned, right? And then these are the number of footsteps, for example. Now, obviously, the heart rate will shift from high, low, or moderate, right? And this is my burn rate. So what I'm going to do with this live data is I'm going to capture different parameters, maybe put it on a Power BI, which will actually help the agencies like insurance companies to automate the claim process. Now we are going to use line chart where we have X and Y axis like heart rate over time, steps over time. We are going to use a bar chart which will talk about how much calories have I burned over time. What are the key influencers? I mean, what really is impacting calorie, which is burning the most, and a chart which is called a decomposition tree. So it will show me breakdown calorie burn by heart rate and steps. In terms of forecasting, so it can also predict my future steps and calories burns, and then cluster all this data with the heart rate and the steps. So obviously there will be some kind of differences between these two charts, let's say with key influences and decomposition tree. So we are going to do all those kind of pivot with Power BI and try to understand that. So let's just quickly go to the Power BI dashboard. Okay, so as you can see here, very specifically, the heart rate is increasing over time, going up to 185 and then dropping to 110. Then similarly, I can show you a bar chart where you can see how the calories is getting burned over time, right? So it's just increasing in terms of my calories. And then obviously what is really impacting, let's say my calories to increase and things like that. So just quickly trying to analyze based upon the data which we already have. So you can see like how my average of calories is increasing based upon the number of steps I've taken up and what is my burn rate and things like this. This is an amazing analysis which we can have. And you can also check with degrees and you can get a different dashboard as well. Talking about decomposition tree, how do we talk about breakdown of calories? So you can see this is the number of sum of calories burned. This is the moderate intensity. This is the burn rate versus the sum of calories burned. This is the steps again, and then the heart rate, right? So it's a very interesting pictographic view of the breakdown, very specifically of calories, right? Then we have my steps over time, how it is increasing as you can see with time, with minutes, right? And it's actually going on up the ladder. And then you try to analyze and cluster it, a sample data set, which is already available. So as you can see, sum of heart rate 1635, sum of steps 5970, and sum of calories burned 775, right? So this is just a diagram to showcase, and this will really help the end user and the insurance companies as well to automate the process and also predict the future, which is very important with the help of AI. Right now, let's just quickly go back to understand very specifically what we are talking about, the futuristic approach. So as you can see, like we're also trying to use blockchain on the back end to secure the health data. We're trying to use this AI-driven telehealth for proactive care, right? And then obviously predictive analysis for early disease detection. I mean, obviously we want some kind of early disease, detection, as I mentioned, let's say someone prone to heart attack and things like that, right? And the takeaways for us, very specifically for this use case, is how is Gen AI and IoT really making things hyper personalized, kind of a real-time insurance models? How do we automate the claims for insurance industry, maybe make it more faster, and then reduce the fraud by doing this kind of analysis, so it does make a higher efficiency in terms of output. And obviously insurance will be shifting from reactive to preventive, rather than someone facing a problem and then getting a claim, rather than they already knowing in advance, if they are prone to XYZ disease and things like that, right? These are some of the workshops I did on IoT. I just wanted to show quick pictures about, very specifically dividing groups and teaching them concepts about design thinking, how you can come up with some, great kind of ideas, very specific to, like use cases. So I gave around the 6 groups a chance, where, as you can see, they are brainstorming, and I gave them different industries, talking about how AI is impacting how you can make amazing dashboards and things. And then a team of 4 girls, they won this prize because their idea was unique and they got maximum voted, right? Also, I had a chance. I was very fortunate to deliver a lecture for Microsoft Dubai recently, and I also, advocate on sustainability. So as you can see, this machine is air to water, which is like a refill for life, and obviously seeing the beautiful things about Burj Khalifa and things like that, right? And we are also talking about how AI is marketing better than your vendor space. So AI is literally actually doing a lot of things, and I can just show some more photos to showcase how AI is really impacting. And just like I was talking about predicting your future, you can see this is like one of my photos when I was a finalist at the South Summit Korea as a delegate, and then you can see how a startup was able to quickly, get me a print. The startup name is Any Moment, and they were able to give me a print copy of how I would look old. As you can see here, it is me, and then this is how my old picture looks like. Similarly, this is how my old picture looks like. So this is just amazing how AI can really impact our lives, right? Now, not to go a little bit more detail, but then to give a brief overview about different tools under Power Platform. So one of the advanced features, what I really like about Power Automate is, connecting different apps so that a lot of my repetitive tasks and workflows can be minimized. So you can set up a lot of triggers and actions that can save a lot of time and reduce your manual effort. You can literally streamline your process through automation, which will obviously enhance your overall productivity. Right. Similarly, I mean, this is something self-explanatory. A lot of us have used VLOOKUP, pivot tables, and all, right? So this is really useful when you really want to, try to, get an amazing kind of data. Now, as I showed Power BI, it just saves a lot of your time. You can make some amazing data visualization tools and things like that. One of the beautiful feature of Excel is obviously you can use this @ feature. You can co-author with someone. They can comment, right? And then version control also is something you can track, and it can be reverted much quickly. Quickly jumped into Power BI, my favorite area, where you can really transform the real-time data, as you can see here, make it more interactive in terms of dashboards and reports. I did show you some of the examples of the insurance industry where a lot of data resources were being taken, and then I was able to share this insight with different stakeholders, right? Because they were able to they were able to make those decisions for getting insurance on time, and making it more, claim process much more automated. Outlook also has some amazing effective communication, like, so you can manage all your tasks, emails, everything. You can make different folders to organize your inbox for better productivity, and then set rules for incoming emails. I mean, a lot of my previous folks whom I used to work with, they used to get a lot of emails, they used to have a lot of folders, but they have to automate it with the rules. So let's say what kind of emails I am getting, and how do I automate and do things like that, right? So that's an amazing feature which Outlook has. Also, you can schedule assistant. I mean, let's say I wanted to book a meeting, let's say with someone whom I report, so I can actually literally go and see their calendar, and then try to see when they are free. if their calendar is public. So, these are things, amazing things available in your Outlook, which you can schedule, and you can use this assistant to suggest what are the times that person whom you want to do meeting on Teams, they can really, work around with you, right? You can integrate literally everything, your tasks, your calendar events, so your daily agenda can be done, everything. And then all this quick step feature can automate a lot of your email actions, what's the next step and things like that. Right now, talking about Microsoft To Do for task management, I guess this is also an interesting feature you have where you can integrate your Outlook tasks for streamlining your task management. You can get different lists. You can set due dates, as you can see here. Like, you can set some due dates. You can synchronize this across each of the devices which you're using for Teams, right? Talking about Microsoft Planner, I mean, you can plan things just like putting a dashboard, you want to do meetings, you can assign team members some kind of tasks. So it's look like more like a Jira and, more like a, tool, like a project management thing. And this is really good for, planning things in advance. You can leverage Microsoft Forms for feedback. I think this is just amazing where you can analyze responses, within the forms, and it will give you a lot of insights. You can open in Excel, you can download it, and you can then, try to compare about what you have asked and what you have got as output. You can enhance security in Microsoft 365. Yeah, absolutely. You have this multi-factor authentication, product sensitive information feature, right? And you have different permissions you can give only to authorized users. And obviously, a lot of compliance tools will help you to adhere to those set of regulations. And you can know when to manage this effectively and things like that. Right? You can customize your Microsoft 365 experience. I mean, I really like to change my themes, add some add-ins to functionality across applications, and then you can use this learning keyboard shortcuts that will really help you to speed up your workflow. Right? And as you know, technology is really moving fast. I mean, if we see every single day, everyone is really, outspoken. They're really going to the farther end. So we really have to, move forward with that speed. These are some of my favorite tools which I use. I mean, obviously these have some credits. So if there's anyone who wants to get access, I'll anyways, share across this presentation to the organizing team. So there are some credits you can use, and these are some of my favorite tools like Figma, Fireflies, Pictory AI, ChatGPT 4.0 with superpowered ChatGPT, Copy AI. So this just helps me on a day-to-day basis, and these are some of my favorite tools which you can use for your day-to-day activities. There are more AI tools. We are not going to go deeper into this, but these are my favorite AI tools which I use. If you're a marketer like me, if you like prompts, this is a specific link, as you can see, where you can get 18,000 plus prompts at a single go if you want to use AI for marketing. So yeah, at the end, I would like to thank the Global Power Platform Bootcamp 2025 Japan team to giving me opportunity to deliver a quick lecture. There is also scan codes, as you can see, so you can provide the session survey using the scan code, and you can give the information about how you like the event, how you like the speakers, how was the theme and everything using this event survey, right? So yeah, that's a very short and quick lecture which I really wanted to capture for this. And if you're in Japan, I'm happy to meet in March. I'll be delivering a lecture on March 15 at the Global AI community. So happy to catch up, and thank you so much for your kind attention. Arigato.